Imagine lifting your eyes to the vast expanse of the hills, seeking help from the Maker of heaven and earth. It's a powerful reminder that our assistance comes from God, the one who created all things. In our daily journey, amid the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the towering challenges before us. But when we pause and lift our eyes to the hills, we find solace in knowing that our help comes from the Lord. As we continue in verse 2, the psalmist declares, My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth." Here, we're reminded of God's sovereignty over all creation. He's not just a distant observer. He's actively involved in every aspect of our lives. From the grandeur of the heavens to the intricacies of the earth, God's power and presence surround us. And in times of need, we can take refuge in His unfailing love and care. Verse 3 speaks of God's unwavering protection. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Just as a loving parent watches over their child, God keeps a vigilant eye on His beloved children. He guards our steps, ensuring that we remain steadfast on the path He has set before us. Even in the darkest of nights, when fear threatens to overtake us, we can rest assured knowing that God never sleeps nor slumbers. In verse 4, the psalmist continues, Behold, He who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. This repetition reinforces the unchanging nature of God's vigilance. Whether we're facing trials or triumphs, God remains ever-present, steadfast in His love and protection. He's the faithful guardian of His people, never wavering in His commitment to our well-being. As we reach verse 5, we find reassurance in God's constant watchfulness. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. Just as the shade shields us from the scorching heat of the sun, God provides us with refuge and protection in the midst of life's challenges. His presence is a source of comfort and strength, guiding us through the trials and tribulations we encounter. Finally, in verse 6, we're reminded of God's unwavering faithfulness. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. This imagery paints a picture of God's protective embrace, shielding us from harm day and night. No matter what dangers may lurk in the shadows, God's light shines brightly, illuminating our path and guiding us safely through the darkness. So, as we reflect on Psalm 121, let us lift our eyes to the hills and find hope in the God who watches over us. Let us take comfort in His unwavering protection and trust in His unfailing love. And as we journey through life's ups and downs, may we always remember that our help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. Starting each day with Psalm 121 is like wrapping ourselves in a warm, protective embrace. It reminds us that no matter what challenges we face, God is there, watching over us. This psalm is often called the Traveler's Psalm because it's a powerful prayer for our journey through life. It reassures us that, just like a traveler faces unknown paths, we too encounter uncertainties, but God is always with us, guiding our every step. Let's delve into Psalm 121, verse by verse, and draw comfort from its timeless wisdom. In verse 1, the psalmist declares, I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? This imagery invites us to gaze at the majestic hills or the vast sky, reminding us of God's omnipotence. When we lift our eyes to Him, we acknowledge that our help comes from the Creator of heaven and earth. Verse 2 affirms, My help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. Here, we find reassurance in the unchanging nature of God. He is not just a distant observer, but an active participant in our lives, intimately involved in every detail. He is the one who created the heavens and the earth, and He is more than capable of guiding and protecting us. As we continue through Psalm 121, we encounter promises of God's unwavering protection. Verses 3 and 4 declare, He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. These verses paint a vivid picture of God as our ever-vigilant guardian. He never grows weary or distracted. His watchful eye is always upon us, ensuring our safety and security. In verses 5 and 6, we find further assurance of God's protection. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. Here, God is likened to a protective shade, shielding us from the scorching heat of the sun and the chill of the moonlit night. His presence is our refuge and fortress, providing comfort and safety in every circumstance. Finally, in verses 7 and 8, the psalmist concludes with a resounding declaration of God's faithfulness. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. These verses encapsulate the essence of God's unwavering love and care. He is our constant companion, guarding us from harm and guiding us through life's journey, both now and for all eternity. As we reflect on Psalm 121, let's take comfort in the knowledge that we serve a God who is always watching over us. Let's lift our eyes to Him, our source of help and protection, and trust in His unfailing love. May this psalm serve as a reminder of God's faithfulness and a source of strength as we journey through life's ups and downs. Psalm 121 serves as a beacon of hope, guiding us through life's trials and uncertainties. Its timeless words remind us that God is our constant companion, watching over us with unwavering love and protection. As we navigate the twists and turns of life's journey, let's cling to the promises found within this sacred text. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the challenges that confront us. Yet, Psalm 121 reminds us to lift our eyes to the hills, to turn our gaze upward and seek solace in the presence of our Heavenly Father. For it is from Him that our help comes, from the One who fashioned the heavens and the earth with His own hands. When we feel as though we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, when fear and uncertainty threaten to overwhelm us, we can take refuge in the assurance that God is with us. He never slumbers nor sleeps. His watchful eye is upon us day and night. Like a loving parent keeping a protective watch over their child, God guards our every step, ensuring that we do not stumble or fall. The imagery of God as our shade at our right hand offers a powerful reminder of His constant presence and protection. Just as shade shields us from the scorching heat of the sun, so too does God shield us from harm. Whether in the blazing light of day or the darkness of night, His presence surrounds us like a comforting blanket, keeping us safe from harm. As we journey through life, let's take comfort in the knowledge that God is our ever-present help in times of need. He is not a distant deity, but a loving Father who cares deeply for His children. He watches over our lives, both now and forevermore, guiding us with His wisdom and grace. So let us lift our voices in praise and thanksgiving to the One who watches over us with unfailing love. Let us place our trust in His promises, knowing that He is faithful to fulfill them. And let us take courage in the knowledge that, no matter what challenges lie ahead, we do not walk alone, for the Lord is with us always. As we reflect on Psalm 121, let's take comfort in the knowledge that we serve a God who is always watching over us. Let's lift our eyes to Him, our source of help and protection, and trust in His unfailing love. May this psalm serve as a reminder of God's faithfulness and a source of strength as we journey through life's ups and downs. So, let's continue our journey, knowing that our help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth.
Come join us on our journey of love and light. Your donation, no matter how small, helps us reach more hearts. Click the link to contribute. We deeply appreciate your support.